This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 7th day of February in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Now here's what we're tracking tonight. The nationwide strike by teachers is picking up momentum as a number of trade unions, political parties, civil society organizations, and parents are now lending their support in the struggle for better pay and benefits for the country's teachers. Standing on the picket line today in front of the Ministry of Education was the General Secretary of the Guyana Trades Union Congress, Lincoln Lewis, who told reporters that a strike called by the GTU is just.
The Minister of Labour, he is very far from what his role ought to be. You know, the Minister of Labour in industrial disputes in any country becomes the chief conciliator. Rather than conciliate what this man has been doing, is taking the side of the employer and attacking the trade union. I believe that one of the demands that ought to be made is that man be moved as Minister of Labour. He needs to go.
Turning his attention to the Education Minister Priya Manikchand, Mr. Lewis said while the minister has indicated that the Education Ministry has addressed more than 25 of the issues identified by the union, it is not for the government to cherry-pick issues. He said a substantive issue of salary and non-salary benefits must be addressed at the negotiating table. And as a growing number of teachers chanted in protest, executive member of the People's National Congress Reform, Dr. Gary Best, said the government has the financial resources to offer teachers an increase in salaries now.
As I said here in my placard, I see quite clearly that the JADU budget is a failure to teachers. It's a failure to the entire nation. And the key thing is that President Ali has not identified his incompetences yet. So we're saying that you could increase teachers' pay now. We don't have to wait for that. But in the widest scheme of things, the budget itself is what got us imprisoned. It's locked us in a vortex. It is politicized. It's okay, as I say, now you see me, now you don't. We have a sum of money in the budget for salaries, no breakdown, no organization.
According to Best, the recently passed budget is designed to keep people in poverty and to manage poverty instead of bringing people out of poverty. He warned that unless the government reduces income inequality, which is a clear issue for teachers, there will be an unstable society. Opposition Member of Parliament Don Hastings-Williams said the demands of teachers are just and reasonable as they endure less than desirable conditions in the schools.
It's a nationwide strike, and it's all because teachers are asking for what they are entitled to. Hard-working public servants going to school day after day, despite of different working conditions. You would have seen some of our schools are in a very bad state. Teachers have to be opening umbrellas with students in some cases when rain falls. And in spite of that, our teachers are always going out to work to mold the nation's children.
Hastings-Williams, who's also a teacher, said in the hinterland region the cost of living is even higher, placing teachers in difficult positions many times. And Althea King, the incoming parliamentary representative for a new and united Guyana, was also among those on the protest line. She told reporters that the concerns of teachers should be addressed, as she too rejected the contention by the government that the strike is illegal.
Well, I think it's a very sad situation that, our teachers, our educators are one of the most important sector that we can have. These are individuals who are responsible for educating us. We are where we are as a country, as persons, as the position we hold because of our educators. So I feel for our main sector to be here today, it's a very sad situation that their needs haven't been met, which is the only reason that they can be here.
An activist and publisher of the Culture News, Glenn Lau, said it is unfortunate that Guyana is being dubbed one of the richest countries in the world per capita, and its teachers have to protest for a decent salary in 2024.
Just for a moment, look at the wealth this nation has, and look what teachers have to do in the streets, standing up, protesting in this hot sun for a living wage. The amount of gold that is being stolen out of this country per month is more than enough to pay all the public servants. not only the teachers, the nurses, the soldiers, the police, every single public servant at double salary, the amount of gold alone.
And Randolph Pereira, who was one of the many parents who stood in solidarity with the teachers today, said the situation is overbearing and the government must heed the calls of the teachers.
I'm out there because it's overbearing and I feel the pain of people. I'm a human being and I know what it was, right, to live through poverty and these kind of things. And teachers right now are living in poverty because of that salary. Their parents, they have responsibility like everybody. They have utility bills. They have children to send to school. And 6.5 is unreasonable. The only way 6.5 I would have supported it if teachers were getting $250, $300 a month. I would have supported 6.5. But 6.5 is no good.
Another parent told News Source that the non-action of the government on the issue is unacceptable, as she lobbied for all the unions in the country, the religious community, the nurses, and other persons in society to stand in solidarity with the nation's teachers as they continue their strike action. More news coming up in just a moment.
Thursday, February 22nd, we're heading to the biggest wet fed of MASH, Splash-O-Mani 2024 at the Guyana National Stadium. Nuff Water, Pulse, Nuff Soca. The night before the holiday, Soca star Problem Child. Ola Tunji.
Is a party in the engine.
Splash-O-Mani, the official wet fed of MASH 2024. Problem Child, Ola Tunji, and more to be added. Come, let's soak you down in water and soca. Early bird tickets $3,000. Brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment.
Fireside Suite, standard and unique. Room fresh and nice, comfortable and neat. 24-hour whole day we a do it. Affordable price on a Garnet Street, yo. Can't vex, cause we top of the line. Fireside are the best, 5-star we a shine. From you come one time, we tag a left on your mind. To tell your family, your friend, them one more time say. Best service a Fireside Suite. Safety ensured on a Fireside Suite. Price them cheap on a Fireside Suite. Come enjoy your stay on a Fireside Suite. Fireside Suite located at 154 Garnet Street, Kitty. For bookings and reservation, call contact number 623-3473.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Let's tell you now that the Caribbean Union of Teachers has come out in full support of the decision by the Guyana Teachers Union to initiate and continue strike action as they push for better wages and salaries for the nation's teachers. In a letter of support to the GTU, the Caribbean Union of Teachers said it hopes that good sense will prevail on the part of the government to continue the collective bargaining process and arrive at decisions which are equally beneficial to all parties, but more importantly reflect the commitment of prioritizing education and education workers in Guyana. The Caribbean Union of Teachers reminded that teachers have offered unwavering commitment to students, families, and communities, even as they face increased responsibilities and workloads, adding that teachers still continue to show up and provide the best education. According to the regional body, it stands in full solidarity with the teachers in Guyana as they continue their protest for a fair contract which they justly deserve. The union said unity will make teachers stronger as they take collective action to propel positive change. Teachers across the country entered day 3 of their strike action today as they continue to press the government for increased salaries and non-salary benefits. The teachers' union has said that the strike action was called after the government continued to ignore the union's 3-year proposal for salary increases and benefits for teachers, more than 3 years after that proposal was submitted. The opposition parties, APNU and AFC, have stated that they stand firmly behind the country's teachers who are currently on strike, seeking government's intervention to honor a multi-year agreement submitted by the Guyana Teachers Union. In a statement, the APNU said the demands of the teachers are legitimate and said it fully understands the challenges that teachers face, noting that teachers are subjected to cruel treatment by the current government. According to the APNU, rest assured it's committed to reversing all punitive measures instituted by the PP Civic and to ensuring that the rights and welfare of teachers are upheld and improved. The APNU said it recognizes the importance of collective bargaining and will respect the legitimate representation of teachers through the Guyana Teachers Union. The government has said that the ongoing teachers' strike is unjustified and illegal, and has noted that almost 30 measures have been put in place over the last 3 years to improve the standard of living for teachers. But teachers continue to complain about poor pay and bad working conditions. This led the opposition to contend that the government is trampling on the rights of teachers. The APNU noted that with general elections on the horizon, teachers must not forget their current challenges. And with the government threatening to cut salaries of teachers who are on strike since it sees the strike as illegal, the Alliance for Change said such a move by the government would be vindictive. The AFC said it is alarmed at government's failure to uphold the right to legitimate protests, the individual's right to strike, and has concluded that the actions all signal the death of democracy in the PPP Guyana. The AFC said the government is not interested in collective bargaining and in finding a meaningful solution to the concerns raised by teachers. The Alliance for Change also said it notes the duplicity of the government, which has labeled the protest as political because the General Secretary of the GTU is a member of Parliament on the opposition side. The AFC reminded that the current and former presidents of GAWU were members of parliament for the governing PPP, and whenever sugar workers went on strike, they were never accused of being political. The Alliance for Change said the Guyana Sugar Workers Union has staged the most strikes in Guyana over the last 40 years, at least 10 strikes per year, and that union was never threatened with having the union dues withheld and workers not being paid. In 2018, when the APNU-AFC was in government, teachers were also forced to go on strike for improved wages and salaries. That multi-year agreement expired at the end of 2019, forcing the union to submit a new agreement in 2020. Turning now to the oil and gas sector, the president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Rutledge, today said moves by Guyana to strengthen its bilateral relationship with countries such as the US in the area of defense and security augurs well not only for the country but also for the entire Western Hemisphere as it takes up its place as a global player in the oil and gas industry.
I think the collaboration that we're seeing for Guyana with other countries on the military front as well as on the diplomatic and economic front reflects that. And so I think it's a healthy healthy thing. I think it's good for the Western Hemisphere that we see those kind of collaborations, and hopefully it'll continue.
Mr. Rutledge noted, however, that the border controversy between Guyana and Venezuela remains concerning. Venezuela lays claim to Guyana's resource-rich Essequibo region. The border controversy was settled since 1899, but recently Venezuela hosted a referendum that not only reignited its claims to the Essequibo, but also revealed plans that could threaten the operations in the oil sector here. The ExxonMobil president said when the situation became tense recently, with Venezuela stepping up its claims, his company was forced to spend time underground with global insurance and financing companies, as well as politicians in the U.S. to educate them on the geography of the country and the 1899 arbitral award. Mr. Rutledge said the move helped to calm nerves of many of those around the world, and as such, there will be no substantial changes to the insurance of operations here in Guyana.
We continue to see the investment coming towards the country, but like all things, the more uncertainty and risk there is, the more it does create that tension on ongoing investment. But thankfully, it's under control.
The Exxon president said the company is pleased that the two countries reached an agreement during the Argyle talks in St. Vincent. But he made it clear that Exxon was comforted in the fact that its contract with the government of Guyana is valid, not just under local laws, but also international laws, and therefore it has every right to operate in the Stabroek Block.
We remain committed to Guyana and pursuing the business here and delivering on the commitments that we've made to the country.
And it was revealed that the operators of the Stabroek Block have invested just over $29 billion into oil developments here in Guyana.
On a total basis, we've invested, in round numbers, $29 billion here in Guyana to date. I say we, that's ExxonMobil, Hess and CNOOC collectively, have financed $29 billion of investment in the country. That covers all the capital that's been invested, but also the operating expenses associated with running the facilities on a day-to-day basis. Of the $29 billion, we've recovered about $19 billion to date since start of operations in 2019. And so what's remaining? Simple math, 29 minus 19 is about $10 billion of outstanding costs in the Stabroek Block.
The ExxonMobil president said Guyanese can expect even more investments as the company works to finalize its sixth project here with the Guyana government. It was noted that the environmental impact assessment and the field development plan for the Whiptail project have already been submitted. It is hoped that the company will soon be able to acquire the environmental permit and production license for that operation, which could see a production of 250,000 barrels of oil per day starting from 2027. Currently, with 3 oil production vessels, Liza Unity, Liza Destiny and Prosperity in operation, the company is producing about 645,000 barrels of oil per day. It is hoped that by the end of this year, the company will be able to achieve a total production of more than 500 million barrels of oil in total since the start of production in 2019.
Look at the breathtaking beauty of the Essequibo. From its pristine rivers to its abundant resources, it's a treasure that belongs to Guyana, and we ask Venezuela to respect the rule of international law.
Our commitment to this land is not just about ownership. It's about preserving its beauty and resources for our people and future generations.
The controversy between Guyana and Venezuela was settled internationally as full, perfect, and final in 1899. Essequibo belongs to Guyana.
Well, Guyana's oldest private sector organization, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, has written to the U.S. Exim Bank in a lobbying effort to get the bank to approve the Guyana government's request for a $660 million loan facility to support the gas to energy project. In the letter signed by the president of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, Kester Hudson, the private sector body stated that the financial support from the U.S. Exim Bank would contribute significantly to Guyana's energy transition, reduce reliance on fossil fuels, and promote sustainable practices. The Chamber of Commerce said the project is anticipated to reduce electricity costs by approximately 50%, which would be a material change in the cost of electricity for Guyanese citizens and enterprises alike. According to the Chamber of Commerce, it sees the project as having immense potential to drive economic growth, enhance energy security, and promote sustainable development in the Western Hemisphere. The Chamber of Commerce also said it is deeply concerned and expresses strong condemnation of attempts by a small minority of individuals to discredit the project and discourage the Exim Bank from providing financial support for the project. According to the Chamber, it is especially disheartened to see the vilification of a project that holds significant potential benefits for the nation and its citizens, adding that the Chamber is appalled at missives penned requesting that a loan to fund the initiative be blocked. While not making any specific reference to any group or persons, the Chamber of Commerce said the dissenting voices do not reflect the interests of the business community in Guyana, which has stated publicly that it will support any project that helps to lower the cost of electricity. According to the Chamber, it will always be supportive of efforts aimed at the development of Guyana, especially those efforts which align with the best interest of Guyana's economic growth and the aspirations of its people. Just last week, Vice President Barra Jagdeo expressed optimism that a loan facility will be granted, as there appears to be a pause in the process to approve the loan. The Chedijagan International Airport Corporation has signed a memorandum of understanding with Cupto Punta Cana, a leading airport developer and operator from the Dominican Republic, for the construction of a new terminal building at the airport. In a statement, the Chedijagan Airport said the MOU signifies a significant step forward in the airport's expansion plans, aimed at increasing passenger capacity and enhancing the overall travel experience for visitors and residents alike. The MOU, according to the airport, outlines a collaborative effort to construct a new terminal building at the Chedijagan Airport, specifically designed to handle the growing influx of passengers. The statement noted that the expansion is crucial to accommodate the anticipated surge in air travel demand within the coming years, driven by Guyana's economy and tourism potential. The MOU marks the second major partnership for the airport's ongoing expansion. Late last year, a similar MOU was signed with the Manchester Airport Group to construct a second terminal and implement improved management practices for the airport facility. The Chedijagan Airport explained that the partnerships represent a comprehensive strategy to transform the airport into a world-class airport capable of meeting the growing needs of Guyana's air travel industry. Back in 2022, the Chedijagan International Airport also signed an MOU with the Houston Airport System, resulting in both airports working together to attract United Airlines to fly the Houston-Georgetown route. United Airlines is still to start up that service, but is expected to do so later this year. The Chedijagan International Airport at Tamiri is Guyana's largest international airport and is the only one to accommodate commercial-sized jets. The airport has been undergoing a makeover for more than 10 years under 3 different governments.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. The government of Argentine President Javier Milei was seeking to salvage his wide-ranging economic reform package on Wednesday after Congress delivered a major blow a day earlier, casting doubt over its future and triggering a fall in financial markets. Reuters, in a report, said lower house lawmakers on Tuesday rejected several crucial proposals in the bill, sending it back to committee and back to the drawing board. The government said it was seeking ways to keep the bill alive. All constitutional tools are being evaluated, presidential spokesman Manuel Adorni said at a news conference on Wednesday, adding that at some point the bill is going to become a reality. The bill, which had already been significantly reworked by lawmakers before Tuesday's defeat, included provisions to allow for the privatization of state entities and give the president greater powers, among changes to hundreds of regulations. The government was now weighing whether to break it up into separate bills. Ruling party lawmaker Oscar Sago said on Wednesday. Sago, who leads the ruling party's minority bloc in the lower house, said a non-binding national referendum could also be held to drum up support for the bill. Of the more than 700,000 citizens and residents of Trinidad and Tobago who were vaccinated for COVID-19, only 50 reported experiencing adverse side effects. In a report, Trinidad and Tobago Guardian said none of those who reported such side effects subsequently died as a result of being vaccinated. These statistics were provided by the Ministry of Health in response to a lawsuit filed by social activist Umar Abdullah of the First Wave Movement. Last month, High Court Judge Frank C. Prasad granted Abdullah leave to pursue a lawsuit against the ministry over its failure to provide the statistics in response to requests under the Freedom of Information Act submitted in August last year. When the case came up for the hearing before Justice Prasad on Tuesday, Abdullah's lawyer indicated that most of the requested information was supplied by the ministry after his client was given permission for the lawsuit last month. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. senators are hoping to salvage a package of military aid for Ukraine and Israel in a possible vote that could happen later, the BBC said in a report today. Republicans in the Senate earlier blocked sweeping legislation that could bring in tougher border restrictions and grant new aid to Ukraine and Israel. The now dead $118 billion package took months to negotiate and included about $20 billion of funding for the U.S.-Mexico border, $60 billion to support Ukraine, and another $14 billion for Israel. But Republicans voted it down after pressure from Donald Trump, with the bill failing by 50 votes to 49. A new version of the bill has been drawn up with the foreign aid but without the immigration plans, and senators may soon vote on it. The 370-page border security bill that has been rejected would have allowed the U.S. to shut down the border when crossings hit a certain threshold. It was negotiated by both sides and saw military aid tied to immigration, as Republicans said they would only support more aid for Ukraine if the border crisis was fixed. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.